October 20th, 2024. 29th Sunday in Ordinary Time. World Mission Sunday. A reading from the book of Isaiah. It was the will of the Lord to bruise him, he has put him to grief. When his soul makes an offering for guilt, he shall see his offspring, he shall prolong his days, the will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul he shall see and be satisfied, by his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make many to be accounted righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. The word of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm. Response: May your merciful love be upon us, as we hope in you, O Lord. For the word of the Lord is faithful, and all his works to be trusted. The Lord loves justice and right, and his merciful fills the earth. May your merciful love be upon us, as we hope in you, O Lord. Yes, the Lord's eyes are on those who fear him, who hope in his merciful love, to rescue their souls from death, to keep them alive in famine. May your merciful love be upon us, as we hope in you, O Lord. Our soul is waiting for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. May your merciful love be upon us, as we hope in you, O Lord. May your merciful love be upon us, as we hope in you, O Lord. A reading from the letter to the Hebrews. Brethren, since we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our confession. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. The word of the Lord. Alleluia, Alleluia. The Son of Man came not to be served but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Alleluia. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. At that time, James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came up to Jesus, and said to him, Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you. And he said to them, What do you want me to do for you? And they said to him, Grant us to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your glory. Jesus said to them, You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the chalice that I drink, or to be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized? And they said to him, We are able. And Jesus said to them, The chalice that I drink you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized, you will be baptized, but to sit at my right hand or at my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared. And when the 10 heard it, they began to be indignant at James and John. And Jesus called them to him and said to them, You know that those who are considered rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it shall not be so among you. But whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflection. Ambition is an earnest desire for some type of achievement or distinction, as power, honor, fame or wealth, and the willingness to strive for its attainment defined by a dictionary. Ambition, in all its forms, prevents us from faithfully following Jesus Christ. The ambitions to achieve power, honor, fame and wealth are something pertaining to this earthly life, and today as a Christian we are called to develop a different and a perfect ambition of life which will last forever. Like most of us, Jesus was also ambitious. He was ambitious to do the will of God, to save people from their sins by sacrificing his life on the cross, and finally to bring back the lost people to God. In fact, he achieved his ambition. Real ambition of life. Jesus had already predicted about his ambition, his suffering, death, and resurrection just 2 Sundays back, but today his close-circled disciples James and John place an ambitious request of occupying first 2 posts in his kingdom. Jesus could have felt disappointed that the apostles did not understand the real ambition of life. Thus Jesus points out to James and John what they should really aspire to by responding to them with a question. Can you drink the cup that I must drink, or be baptized with the baptism with which I must be baptized?" Though the two brothers must have not understood the deeper meaning of Jesus' drink and baptism, they immediately answered yes. The meaning of Jesus' words was understood by the two brothers sometime later in their life. James was the first apostle to die for Christ, when 10 years later Herod beheaded him to please the Jews. John was the last apostle to die. Throughout their lives they, like all the other apostles, realized time and again how foolish they had been dreaming of an earthly glory such as most people in the world dream about, while their glory would lay in faithfully following Jesus, their Master. They eventually shared Jesus' cup of suffering and they never regretted having done so. They did not obtain what they asked for, but something far more precious, place very close to Jesus' heart. Glorious outcome of Jesus' ambition and service. Jesus made his apostles see that human ambition was opposed to his plan and ambition. He puts to the apostles two examples to consider: a. the way people in power in the world behave, b. the way he himself was behaving. The two ways of acting were in total contrast. Jesus' way of acting was on the opposite pole of the way people in power in the world behave, and he says, "The Son of Man did not come to be served but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." Isaiah prophesied the suffering of the servant of Yahweh, Jesus, and the joy that he would experience at seeing the outcome of his suffering. The brightness of the resurrection filled the soul of Jesus with joy. He continues to rejoice today at every person that reaches heaven. His suffering and death continue to yield fruit, abundant fruit. The joy of our own suffering and service, like that of Jesus, brings out our salvation and that of others. We should not be discouraged in our task of service, which always entails suffering. In today's second reading, we are told that Jesus not only has compassion for our weakness, but that his work in heaven is to help us at all times. Thus there is a cup of joy filled to the brim waiting for us in heaven. Let us not grudge sharing Jesus' cup of suffering here below. He is at all times giving us the strength to bear our share of toil.